Thank you for joining us here today on Hill Country Happenings News Minutes. This past Thursday at the Farmers Market, the musical guest was Eric Deaton. Eric sang a variety of blues songs, some from the legends and some from the songs that he had written. They were great, and it was such a great crowd that was there. They sat and listened to him even in the rain. And then after 5:30, a storyteller came to the children's tent where the Baptist Memorial people were set up and told the kids stories. And at the children's tent, they gave away lunch boxes with fruit and water. What great fun. On Saturday morning, the Connie Davis Fishing Rodeo started early, with a number of children coming out to catch the most fish. Now, the rodeo was a little bit delayed because of the rain, but it was still well attended. We hope to have the winner's pictures next week, but we do have a couple of pictures here for the t-shirt design for the winner of the 36th annual Connie Davis Fishing Rodeo was Lena Hall. For the first fish caught for the boy was Wyatt Humphreys, and for the girl, Madison Cawthorpe. Congratulations, y'all. The New Albany Elementary School hosted a Boo-Hoo breakfast on August the 8th. Now, this was a light breakfast and snacks, and they were available for parents and families who were dropping off their pre-K and kindergarten children off at the school for their first day. Now, sometimes it can be difficult for the parents and the students to be separated on the first day of school, and this time was used to help with that transition. The New Albany School District honored Minerva Graham with a retirement reception on Tuesday, August the 7th. Now, Ms. Graham was presented a plaque by Lance Evans, the superintendent of the schools. Graham had 14.5 years of service with the New Albany School District, where she served as director of the New Albany and South Tippah Union County Behavioral Management Center. Also, Jan McMillan continues to carry on the legacy of giving that had begun many years ago by her aunt, Robbie Ray. For over 20 years, at the beginning of each school year, Robbie Ray would secretly take loads of school supplies to the New Albany Elementary School after hours when no one was around. After eventually being discovered by a school employee, Miss Robbie continued to donate school supplies up to her death in 2016. We thank you, Miss McMillan. New Albany's August Luncheon with Books at the Jenny Stephen Smith Library will be Tuesday, August the 21st. And since 2018 is the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I, Luncheon with Books in New Albany will look at Mississippi and the Great War, with selected letters compiled and edited by Miss Annie L. Webster. Miss Webster searched the newspaper from all over the state for letters to home. Newspapers from Natchez, Greenville, and Pontotoc provided most of the letters. The authors of the letters were soldiers and aviators and relief workers in service for their country. They wrote about their experiences in training camps, the voyages across the Atlantic to France, and the horrific battles. When possible, she gives follow-up information after the war for persons who wrote the letter. This program ties in with the Faulkner Literary Festival. Now, the festival is underway in New Albany and ties to the festival's book, Soldier's Pay. The program will begin at 11:30 p.m. with Northside Historic District Garden Club providing a light lunch. Now, this Museum Moments this past Thursday, Dr. Chris Reiger spoke about Faulkner's trip to Japan. Now, Dr. Reiger was the presenter, and we will be airing most of this meeting right here on Hill Country Network. We hope you'll catch it. Now, Saturday was also Pedal for Hope fundraiser for the Regional Rehab Center. There were over 100 riders that came out to support this very worthy cause. Now, please stay tuned for the rest of Hill Country Happenings. We have clips of lots of events that we have mentioned, and plus a thank you to the city workers that cleaned up the plaza. Now, be sure to go and like our Facebook page, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our original programming. You can watch us on TV 99 Max South, or if you don't have cable, you can go to hillcountrynetwork.net and watch our live streaming there. And we hope you have a wonderful week.
I'm Eric Deaton from Oxford, Mississippi, and here today playing some North Mississippi blues for everybody here at the Farmers Market. So,
How long have you been playing?
I've been playing for about 28 years or something, and I guess been playing on stage for about 23 of those.
Do you write any of your own music, or you just do the legends?
Both. I write music. I've got 2 CDs worth of songs that I wrote, and I do a lot of the legends as well. You can find my music online. I put them up on CD Baby, and that means it's out there on like Spotify and Amazon and a number of different places. Best way is just come to a show, see me playing, and I've got CDs here, so just give me a holler.
So who is your greatest influence?
My 2 biggest influences are from right up the road here in Holly Springs, Ariel Burnside and Junior Kimbrough. When I was in my late teens and early 20s, I used to play with those guys out at Junior's Juke Joint up in Marshall County, and back then I was mostly playing bass behind them, but really, made a difference in my playing, and it was a huge influence on what I write as well. Piece of advice. Well, who am I talking to? Because I don't know. Stand clear and keep your eye on that ball. I don't know. Music advice? Oh, I don't know. Just I play the blues. I sing the blues, but like T Model Ford said, I try not to let them get me down. So even if you have them, don't let them get you down. Grab a guitar and play them, and work them out of your system. That's what I do.
Hi, we're at the Biscuits and Jam Farmers Market today. My name is Kelly Cawthorpe, and we are so happy that Baptist Memorial Hospital in Union County has sponsored a children's event every month during the farmers market, and a big reason for it is because of Caroline. She has done a fabulous job coming up with healthy alternatives, teaching children what is the healthy way to eat, and hopefully they can buy it while they're here at the market. So as farmers, we love that. So Caroline, tell me, you are a chef at the hospital.
Yes.
When did you start that job?
In 2014, almost exactly 4 years ago.
Well, we are so fortunate to have you, because when we're at the hospital, everybody talks about how great the food is, and I think that's a big compliment to you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
And you were a chef in Memphis before you moved here?
Dallas, Texas.
And do you bring any of those cooking techniques to the hospital?
Yeah, I do. I bring some Texas flair sometimes, and some of my trained culinary skills, for sure. Yeah.
That's great. Well, tell me about what y'all are doing today for children.
Today we're doing some cut up fruit salad, and we added a little bit of white chocolate chips to sweeten it up and maybe get them to try it a little more. Yeah.
So, and you also have some great lunch bags here. What'd y'all put in those?
We put an apple, an orange, and a bottle of water. Just some good staples for snacks or for a healthy lunch to take to school. Add a turkey sandwich, turkey roll-up, and you're good.
Awesome. This is great. Well, so Stephanie and Nancy are over there watching us because they don't have the guts to get on TV, but they were a big supportive. They supported you through all this.
Yes, they have been awesome, and we have had the best time coming out here.
Farmers Market's a great place to be. Hopefully, Nancy and the three of us have talked about, or I guess there's four of us, about New Albany becoming a healthy city, winning a contest, or I can't remember now what it was called, the healthiest city in Mississippi. So this is going to look good on that when we apply for that y'all are at the farmers market doing this for children and for our community, and then y'all are doing so much more at the hospital also to help. That's going to help us win that, and we just got to keep working on it and get there so that we can, because we are pretty healthy, and it all starts down here, and it starts with children, and I just appreciate y'all knowing how important that is.
Awesome. We're excited. Thank you for having us.
So this is the dream team right here. Thank you, Nancy, Stephanie, and Caroline, for all you've done for us this summer. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Robbie Parman with Regional Rehabilitation Center.
And Billie Jean Stroud with Community Development in Main Street for the City of New Albany.
This is our 4th annual Pelling for Hope bike ride. It goes to support the Regional Rehabilitation Center as well as the New Albany Main Street. And just a great time to support 2 great causes as well as people to come out and have a good time. The Regional Rehabilitation Center, we're a nonprofit, been around for over 50 years. We provide physical, occupational, speech therapy, early intervention services, dyslexia services, and do that all free of charge and don't charge insurance or Medicaid. Fundraisers like this in the community has been so good to us just to be able to keep our doors open and be able to continue to provide that therapy for all over North Mississippi.
And I use it as an opportunity to expose people to our great downtown area and to the Tanglefoot Trail. I would say the majority of the riders today are from other cities and other states outside of New Albany. And the reviews and their positive comments, you know, can only help us have more visitors to our beautiful city.
Pre-registered, we had right at 100 riders, and then I think we had some that came up today that also that registered. So over 100 riders today. Last year we had 85, so it keeps growing every year, and we're very excited about that.
And that is our hope, to grow it to a premier bike ride for not only New Albany and regional rehab, but for the Tanglefoot Trail. The furthest rider we had today was probably from Missouri. We had some from Arkansas, several from Tennessee. So we'll see in a minute exactly where they're all from, but I know that those states are represented.
From this area, we probably had about 60% of our riders, which is about 60 individuals, and maybe the rest 40 came from all over, you know, South Mississippi as well as further like Missouri and other places. I know we just would like to thank the community for supporting New Albany Main Street Association as well as the Regional Rehabilitation Center. We couldn't do what we do without the support of our volunteers, the sponsors, the riders, everybody who's been a part of this event, as well as just be a part of both our organizations. It's been huge for us.
Yeah. And just to have an organization that offers free services to our citizens, I mean, it's an easy group to support.
My name's Terry Butler. I'm with Trails and Treads, one of the owners. There was several different unique bikes. There was some recumbent bikes. I talked to one lady. She had been riding for, I think she said 3 or 4 years. When she started out riding, she weighed right at 400 pounds, I believe she said, and she was riding just a regular bicycle. And she lost down to around 200 and something pounds, but she fell on her bicycle and she's worried about being able to keep riding. So she ended up buying a recumbent bike, which you sit down on, and got 3 wheels, very stable, and she is enjoying it, and she's tickled to death to be riding. So there was a father and daughter team on a recumbent bike, that very unusual bike. I think it was a 2-seater. And then we had, I don't know that we had any upright tandems, but there are some tandems out there. And there's mountain bikes, road bikes, tri-bikes. There's about any type of bike that you could see anywhere. A lot of college students all the way up to, I know one guy's up in his 70s. So.
Hi, I am Lori Small, and I work for MTD in Tupelo, and we are a fundraising group in Tupelo that helps different charities raise money, and today we are helping Robbie Parman and Regional Rehab raise money to help needy people who need services that may not be able to pay for them, and we're just happy to have such a beautiful day for Pedaling for Hope, Tanglefoot Trail Race. Yeah.
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
What's up, dogs? We're here with junior linebacker Hunter Hodges. And Hunter, how do you feel about your performance last week?
I think we did pretty good. We just need to step it up this week because we struggled a little bit on both sides of the ball. But I think we've become focused this week, and I think we're going to be very successful this week.
And Hunter, can you please tell the audience why you're just dressed to the nine today?
I have a speech in Miss Moore's class, and I have to just talk about myself today, and I hope that I do very well.
You hear the folks, you know, around here, athletes are students first, then we're athletes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You didn't go low enough, but we'll count them. What's up, guys? We're here with junior volleyball extraordinaire Rosalie Roberts. And Rosalie, tell me about the game against Pontotoc this week.
Well, we won all 3 sets. We had a big expectation of a middle blocker, but she didn't come through quite as well as we thought she would. And we really put the sets down, and we came out strong and fast, and we won.
And when is y'all's next game?
We play tonight. We play Olive Branch at 6 o'clock.
Be there. Hey, Rosalie, what are some things you enjoy?
Well, I've really picked it up on passing recently, and I've come a long way from that. I didn't play last year, and now I've started, and I've really made an improvement. I can't serve the ball that well, but I'm really working on that, and I've come a long way with my hitting.
Well, outside of volleyball, what is Rosalie and who is Rosalie?
I moved here a long time ago. I finally settled down, but I'm about to move again. I'm kind of excited, but I'm also kind of scared, and yeah.
Breaking news, folks. Y'all are the first ones to hear this. Well, we're definitely going to miss you, Rosalie. Where are you moving off to?
Saudi Arabia.
So, pretty far ways away from here. I mean, are you nervous? Are you scared?
I'm a bit nervous, but I'm actually really excited to make new friends and people and just do exciting things.
Rosalie, can you please tell me why you're moving to Saudi Arabia?
My dad signed a contract and he got a new job there.
That's lit. Oh, Rosalie, have you ever been to Saudi Arabia before?
I have. I lived there in 6th grade for 3 months and I was homeschooled, but this year I'm gonna go to a all-American school.
So basically this is just part 2 for you.
Yes.
Hey guys, we've got Maggie Moore here. She's a starter on the volleyball team and she's actually a libero. Could you tell us a little about what that is?
Well, I'm a libero, which basically means that I wear a different colored shirt, if anybody's ever wondered what that means. And pretty much my job is to pass the ball, so the first touch after the serve, and that's pretty much all I do.
I also wanted to ask about like the future of this volleyball season. Like, what do you expect to happen?
I expect us to keep growing as a team. We're still kind of learning each other, and hopefully a repeat division championship, knock on wood. I think the key is to just keep improving and keep staying focused.
Everybody, it's that time of year again, Faulkner and Folk Art Challenge. This year's book that the art should be representing is Soldier's Pay by William Faulkner. Now there are cash prizes awarded. One of them is Basic Artistic Interpretation of William Faulkner the Man, the challenge for the book, A Soldier's Pay, and then the interpretation for a Soldier's Pay fine art. So one's folk art and one's fine art. Also this year they are doing a Perennials by Julie Cantrell and do a interpretation of the aspect of this book. Now this book is also a community read. There are also awards for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. Now all entries are to be turned in by 4 p.m. on September the 14th, 2018. For more information, you can call the museum at 538-0014, or you can also email Jill at ucheritagemuseum.com. We can't wait to see your work.
And for coming out to hear me talk about this topic. And my plan for today was to talk about Faulkner's trip to Japan, as well as my trip to Japan. the connection to Faulkner that got me to Japan, and then to give you kind of a shortened version of one of the lectures that I did while I was in Japan that was kind of a comparison of Faulkner and a Japanese author. So the hotel that we stayed in is now a post office and pickle store. Post office is appropriate, the pickle store not so much. So on the left is a picture from the film Impressions of Japan. And this is the same building today, and you can tell it's largely in the same state, but not a hotel anymore. The buildings of the town, though, remain largely the same, as this is in the older section of town that attracts tourists on their way to the nearby Zenkoji Temple. My wife and children you see there, and some Japanese Faulkner scholars as well. And then here, one of the most famous coffee brands in Japan uses a logo that looks suspiciously like Faulkner there, doesn't it? And so I think they took a famous image of him and tweaked it enough to not get sued. And it's called The Boss, which I thought was great too. So I was drinking The Boss the whole time we were in Japan and stayed loyal, and brought a few cans back as souvenirs as well too, but I thought that was quite humorous. So we were walking the streets and Faulkner's face was on vending machines everywhere we went. You could not get away from him, which was kind of funny.
Did you say it was coffee in a can?
Coffee in a can, yes.
So they serve it cold?
Sometimes in the morning the cans were hot, which I didn't know until I picked one up, and that was kind of weird. But yeah, most of the time it was cold. It was in vending machines or in convenience stores, and there were 20 different varieties and flavors, but almost always cold. Once or twice I found those hot cans, but other than that, the cold coffee in a can was very popular. And they were very tiny little cans. You're meant to just get one out of the machine, drink it immediately, throw it away, and keep going.
Did you see any
research? I'm curious as to why the Faulkner Center is in Cape Girardeau. William Clark Faulkner supposedly came from Girardeau or close to there.
Yes.
The story's kind of varied, but is that why it's there? Or is it?
No, that is a good question, and one we get asked a lot, actually. Yeah, the family had roots in St. Genevieve, Missouri, which we can document that pretty well now, the family connections to St. Genevieve, which is about 30 minutes from Cape Girardeau, where we are. And then they made their way to Ripley from there, as best we can tell, although I'll defer to Jack on that, actually. But,
no objection.
Okay, good. And so the way we wound up with a Center for Faulkner Studies in Missouri is there was a big Faulkner collector named L.D. Brodsky, who was from St. Louis and Farmington, Missouri, lived in both of those places, and over the years put together, I think what's generally acknowledged as the largest Faulkner collection that an individual has ever amassed. And that Dr. Hamlin, my predecessor at the center, was a professor at Southeast Missouri at the time, and it was one of his students put him in touch with Brodsky and said, do you know the Faulkner collector who lives in Farmington, which is just a tiny town about the size of New Albany, not too far from us? Those two got together, Dr. Hamlin and Brodsky, and started working on his collection. And it was really the partnership and the friendship they formed over many years that Brodsky decided to donate the collection to Southeast rather than, he talked with Ole Miss for a while about donating it there. He talked with Yale, his alma mater, about donating it there. But eventually we acquired the collection, and as part of his gift, the center was established. Brodsky really didn't want his collection to just sit in a room somewhere and no one ever sees it again.